half of the Twins schedule begins on a very special day here at Target Field. Final game of the Interleague Series with the Milwaukee Brewers, but it's also Armed Services Appreciation Day. And on this very special extended holiday weekend, we're very happy to offer our appreciation to all members of the Armed Services, past and present. And we welcome you to Target Field. Another glorious day weather-wise. Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven along with Dick Bramer. And as the Twins begin the second half of their schedule, the challenge here today is to forget how the first half ended last night.
Well, you know what? About 5 days ago, the Twins lost 15-0 to the Dodgers. Well, these losses last night are a lot harder to take than that 15-0 ball game. Matt Capps, I saw him after the ball game last night. He felt bad. He knew that all the pitches were up. He'd like another chance this afternoon to redeem himself. It was not pretty, that ninth inning, where the Brewers came back when they were down 7-3 to beat the Twins 8-7.
And so the pitching matchup for today features a former Cy Young Award winner in Zach Greinke, although he's with a different team, and a guy who might be Minnesota's steadiest starting pitcher this year.
Yeah, Nick Blackburn's coming off a very poor start in his last start, but he's his mound opponent, Zach Greinke. Twins have had a lot of good success against him. He was 0-4 last year with the Kansas City Royals in his first season with the Milwaukee Brewers. But he's 3-8 lifetime against the Twins. And what they say in Milwaukee, he's forgetting to throw his fastball. And for Nick Blackburn, well, he relies on a fastball, a good moving fastball. When Blackie's on, he'll get a lot of ground ball outs. Some success against the Brewers. He beat the Brewers here last year here at the stadium.
Well, we said it after the first game of the Dodgers series. We'll say it today after game 2 with the Brewers. We have a chance to win a series. That's what the Twins will try to do today with a newly minted all-star in the middle of the Twins lineup.
Field. We honor our military on this holiday weekend. Twins try to win a series from the Brewers. I'm Robbie Mikowski. Michael Kadire today named to his first All-Star team as a member of the Minnesota Twins. One of the best days of his career. Look at what he's done in his career. Ranked as one of his best days of his career. Called his mom and dad as if he's been called up to the big leagues. When we come back, the Twins try to win the series over Zach Greinke and the Milwaukee Brewers. First pitch coming your way next on Fox Sports North.
Ricky Weeks stands in the box, takes a knee-high fastball from Nick Blackburn, and we're underway.
Yeah, Blackburn making his 17th start of the year. Of course, his first this season against the Milwaukee Brewers.
And on the outside corner, 2 strikes. Weeks, the designated hitter today. It's the last interleague game, obviously, for the Brewers, too. And so Ron Renicky, as a lot of National League managers do, just kind of rotating people through the DH spot.
Yeah, a lot of guys got some good news today. Ricky Weeks, one of those, as he's named to the National League All-Star team, but he strikes out in 3 pitches off of Blackburn.
Take a look at the Brewers lineup. It's got Ricky Weeks leading off. Nyjer Morgan had such a great game last night, hitting second. Then Corey Hart. Ryan Braun not in the lineup. He won't play today. Prince Fielder, Matt Gamble, Yuniesky, Betancourt, Marcotte, Jonathan Lucroy, and Craig Counsell.
Yeah, what a night for Morgan. A 2-run home run in the 5th, a triple, then that big 2-run double off of Matt Capps in the 9th inning.
And as Ron Gardenhire said, he's more apt to do what he threatened to do here, bunt his way aboard and chop the ball and use his speed, than to become a power hitter. But he got 3 extra base hits in his last 3 at-bats.
You saw the scouting report on Nick Blackburn again, making his 17th start. He's coming off his worst start of the season, lost 15-0 in that Dodger ball game. His 5th career start against the Brewers.
And a called strike, 1-2. The Twins have to respect his speed, and after last night, they've got to respect his power. The outfield playing maybe a step or 2 deeper than they would have earlier in the series. Bounce to short, and Nishioka's got to hurry, and does. 2 down. 2 down. Here are the Twins out on the field with Rene Tassoni in left, Ben Revere in center, Michael Cuddyer in right, and Valencia, Nishioka, Casilla, and Hughes around the infield. And last night's Twins DH, Joe Mauer behind the plate.
Tell you, Dick, one thing I've seen from Nishioka, now he may not have the arm strength of some shortstops, but boy, he makes it up with quick feet. Nishioka get in front of that ball and then quickly getting it over across the diamond.
Slow breaking ball in front of the plate, ball 1. Corey Hart taking over the 3rd spot for Ryan Braun, who pulled a calf muscle in his bunt attempt in the middle of the ball game. Hung around for a couple of innings, but then came out late in the game, and we thought that might be a key detriment for the Brewers in their attempts to come back in the 9th. It turns out the guy who hit in his spot got the game-winning hit, George Kataris.
Yeah, left calf strain for Ryan Braun.
So Sanford Health injury report. Braun figures to miss a couple of games. They don't think it's anything serious. There's a strike, 3-1 to Corey Hart.
Blackburn in the 1st inning here, good tempo, not wasting any time, getting on that pitching rubber, looking for the sign from Joe Mauer, and throwing strikes.
Popped up weakly to the right side. Luke Hughes has it, and Blackburn on 12 pitches has a 1-2-3 first inning. Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. Another beautiful day for baseball and a scoreless top of the first inning. And Ron Gardenhire hoping that his team can win both halves of the baseball game, if there is such a thing. Twins scored the first 7 runs last night and then saw the Brewers come back with the last 8. They've done a nice job getting early runs as of late. And here's what they'll send out there. Try to do that again here today in the Menards batting order. Revere, Casilla, and Mauer. Kadire, Tomey, Valencia. Tassone, Hughes, and Nishioka.
And Zach Greinke on the mound. He missed April with a fractured left rib. A little pickup basketball game in spring training, and ended up going up for a rebound and fracturing a rib. Good fastball from Zach Greinke. And the Twins had a lot of success against Greinke last year when he was with the Kansas City Royals. In 4 starts, 0-4 with an 8.18 ERA.
1-1. What the Twins did, what a lot of teams did last year, probably because of familiarity, having seen them more and more, they would do what they could to lay off his slider, which is his strikeout pitch. He very rarely, they say, throws it for strikes. It looks like a fastball coming in and then darts out of the strike zone. If you can lay off that pitch, then you're going to have better success.
Well, he's got a good fastball. He's got good movement on that fastball, and there looked like a fastball right there that Rivera hits right back up the middle.
Check out the Brewers in the field. Different look, of course, with Ryan Braun out of the lineup. Mark Kotsay in left. Niger Morgan in center. Corey Hart in right. Matt Gamble at third base. Betancourt Council up the middle. Fielder at first. And Jonathan Lucroy making his third start behind the plate in the series. So with Ryan Braun out, veteran Mark Kotsay gets the start in left. Twins have tried to do some running in this series, but not with much success. Lucroy has thrown out 3 stolen base attempts. We'll see you at the plate with Revere aboard.
Well, Ben Revere with 10 stolen bases and 13 attempts. Lucroy has done a good job of throwing out some base runners. Greinke pretty quick home with that slide step.
Up and away, 1-1. Well, the Twins kind of piled on Greinke last year. Other teams did. His earned run average jumped by more than 2 runs from his Cy Young Award season of 09 to last year. And now this year, it's gone up so far by another 1.5 runs.
I know Bob McClure, the pitching coach for the Kansas City Royals, had a chance to talk to him last year about Greinke, and he said, I just can't get him to believe that his fastball is his best pitch. He really fell in love with that slider, and as you mentioned, he had the Cy Young Award year back in 2009 when everybody swung at that slider. And now they're laying off that slider and jumping on that fastball.
And Casilla was waiting for it and couldn't quite wait long enough. He pulled it just foul.
So even though, you know, the hitters made the adjustment, now it's up to Greinke to make the adjustment. Excellent control. He's always had great control. Only 12 walks in 63 innings pitched. Now, his season did not start until the late April because of that fractured left rib.
1-2 to Casilla. There's a slider, and Casilla swings over the top, 1 away.
And that's the time to throw the slider with 2 strikes where the hitter becomes more of a defensive type hitter.
Well, the news came out today. The all-league vote leader was Jose Bautista. He'll be the starting left fielder. Granderson and Hamilton join him in the outfield for the All-Star game. Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, Adrian Gonzalez, and Alex Avila.
Good for him.
At the end, apparently passed Russell Martin. And, well, that's just tremendous for the Tigers. Avila really his first year as a regular catcher for the Tigers. And the Tigers, if not for a quirk in the scheduling or the cycle of the pitching rotation for the Tigers, would have the starting battery for the American League All-Star game with Verlander the likely starter. And Michael Kadire going as a manager's choice. 1-0 to Joe Mauer, who will not be going this year because of all the injuries.
Yeah, Mauer's been to 4 All-Star games. 2006 was his first, and then 2008, 9, and last year.
And a year ago, Mauer was the voters' choice behind the plate. Justin Morneau, even though he couldn't play, was the voters' choice at first base. 1-0 to Mauer. And then an off-speed pitch over for a called strike.
Yeah, Greinke has 4 pitches. A good fastball in the low 90s. Got that nasty slider, a strikeout slider. He'll throw a curveball, and then the last pitch, the changeup.
Ron Roenicke saw his Brewer team climb back into a first-place tie with the Cardinals last night. Bounced up the right side. And Fielder will meet Mauer near the bag, out number 2, and Revere goes to second.
Now Michael Cuddyer should get a nice ovation here. Hopefully the crowd knows he's going to represent the Minnesota Twins in the All-Star game.
You know, it used to be they'd have to post something like that up in the Twinsogram or the scoreboard in right field, and now in this day and age of immediate information, the announcement made at 11 o'clock, and by 11:01, a lot of people in Twins territory knew about it.
Yeah, good for Michael Cuddyer. Congratulations, Michael Cuddyer, selected to his first All-Star game as a reserve. Doesn't matter how you get there. He put up some very good numbers. Remember, in April, it was a terrible month for Cuddyer. He's really picked it up.
Trying to get a first inning hit here to get the first run across the plate. Greinke starts him with a breaking ball and strike 1. Cuddyer with a home run last night, his 11th of the season.
7 for 30 lifetime against Greinke. Zach Greinke with a home run.
Fouled off the mask of Lucroy. 2 strikes.
Greinke, 27 years old, traded over from the Kansas City Royals along with Bettencourt. Brewers gave up a lot of young, talented kids to get Zach Greinke, making his 181st Major League start and his 16th against the Twins.
Twins have scored at least 1 first-inning run in their last 4 games. Cuddyer trying to get a 2-out hit here and make it 5 in a row. Popped up right side, and Fielder flips the shades down and ends the inning in foul territory. So no first inning run for the Twins in today's game.
We welcome you back to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie and Smikowski hanging out in one of the suites here at Target Field as part of the Seats for Soldiers program, a great thing that Champions Club and suite ticket holders have done. 21 suites donated, also 128 tickets in the Champions Club for soldiers and their families. Over 250 tickets donated here at Target Field as part of Armed Services Appreciation Day. And Dick and Bert, a great thing we're doing here to honor our military on this holiday weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Robbie.
Yeah, thank you, Robbie, very much. And again, to all the armed services, thank you. Our hearts and prayers go out to everybody.
Fielder lifts it foul. It's 1-1. It'll be Fielder, Gamble, and Yuniesky Betancourt.
Well, Fielder making his third National League All-Star team, 2007 last year and this year.
Up the line, foul, 1-2. Really is remarkable. Milwaukee in the bottom third in terms of market size in Major League Baseball, but they'll have 3 starters for the National League squad, including Fielder.
First time in their franchise history they've had 3 starters.
Driven to right. Kadire catches the liner for the first down.
Well, you might see that in the All-Star game right there.
Yeah. And here are the starters for the National League. Ryan Braun, Matt Kemp, and Lance Berkman. Berkman really a surprise. A lot of people thought his career was pretty much done with. Blanco at third, Reyes and Weeks up the middle, although Reyes pulled a hamstring last night. Fielder at first, McCann behind the plate. And there'll be some adjustments as players do fall off the roster because they're hurt. Braun's calf injury doesn't figure to keep him out of the lineup just for a couple of days perhaps. 1 strike to Gamble and another foul, 2 strikes. Gamble, kind of a curious start here with Gamble getting the start at third base. But here they are, the 3 starters for the Milwaukee Brewers. And in the case of those 3, all 3 drafted and developed by the Brewers. So it really is a testament to their whole organization, top to bottom, that those players will be the starters for the National League.
Yeah, Ryan Braun again picked his 4th straight National League All-Star game.
Close pitch taken inside, 2-2. Gamble was originally counted on to be a third baseman for the Brewers, but then McGee came along, had an outstanding breakout year last year. McGee struggling this year. Flipped foul again back into the seats. And so some have thought that Gamble might be the guy to take Fielder's spot at first base if Fielder signs elsewhere after the season. But now a chance for him to reemerge as a candidate at third base.
Well, he was hitting very well in AAA Nashville, hitting .321, 18 home runs, and drove in 58 runs. Blackburn a couple times has just missed inside with that good fastball.
But that's the pitch you've talked about when you said the one thing you've noticed about Blackburn lately, he's come inside better and more frequently.
Well, you have to show inside because his out pitch, when he's on, he gets a lot of ground ball outs like that. Well, that's a line drive out, but the pitch away. Have the hitter look for both sides of the plate. Good example right there in that at bat. He let that ball up a little bit. Gamble hit it hard, but sharply at Danny Valencia for the second out.
2 down, and here's Yuniesky Betancourt. I guess it makes sense from the standpoint that, you know, the barrel of the bat can only be in one place at one time. And if a pitcher is predictable, or in the case of Matt Capps last night, if you leave it up high out of the strike zone, the barrel of the bat can do a lot of damage. But if you move it inside and out, and occasionally up and down, you don't know where to put the barrel of the bat.
You know, we talk about Scott Baker changing the eye level. Big slow curveball right there for strike 1. You know how he's been really successful as of late because he's pitching down, and, you know, elevate that ball and get maybe the strikeout. Same thing goes for Blackburn.
Another good inning, this time on 13 pitches. Blackburn has a 1-2-3 second inning.
man, it's right up there with getting your first call to the big leagues. I mean, it's extremely special. You know, you think about all the people that have helped you, you know, from Little League on up, and your teammates and coaches and everything. It's extremely special time, not just for me, but for everybody.
Michael Cuddyer commenting on being named to the All-Star team for the first time. And I suppose there is a chance his former teammate David Ortiz would pick him for participation in the Home Run Derby. Thome lifts one high and deep to right. Number 595.
His fifth career home run, his third career home run against Zack Greinke. Jumping on that first pitch. And the number changes out in center field to 595 for Jim Thome. Again, Greinke a pitcher. He's going to come right at you. Not a lot of walks. He jumped on that first fastball and puts the Twins up by 1.
Pitch low to Danny Valencia.
Well, I picked a stick. I said Jim Thome is going to hit number 595 here today, and on the first pitch he does.
Took care of it early for him.
Yep.
Breaking ball over for a called strike, 1-1. Thome, a 5-time All-Star, most recently in 2006. One and one to Valencia. Popped up right side. Fielder backpedaling, and on the outfield grass makes the catch, 1 away.
Again, Jim Thome at 40 years old, so strong. 21st Major League season. He goes up there with a game plan. You know what? I'm going to go up there, stay aggressive, and that ball had some hang time and made it into the seats out in right field.
So the Twins didn't get a first inning run, but they got a very early second inning run on Thome's home run. And here's Rene Tassoni. Down and away, ball 1.
That home run Greinke allowed, his 9th of the year, making his 13th start.
And an off-speed pitch over for a strike. You know, it all sounds well and good. You say, well, we just won't swing at the slider, but the slider's a pitch that is supposed to deceive the hitter. And so when you see teams like the Twins last year with success at doing that, you wonder whether the man might not be tipping a certain pitch so that they know it's coming before it actually comes out of his hand. And I'm sure the Royals last year, the Brewers this year, have looked at videotape. Here's a fly to left. Kotsay chasing it near the line. Out number 2.
No, I don't think so, Dick, because that year in 2009, that slider, I mean, that was his strikeout pitch. But again, I think he forgot that he got ahead with the fastball. A good changeup, the curveball. He was throwing slider, 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 and that slider, like you saw from by Casilla, that's not really a strike. It's your strikeout pitch. It's a pitch that when you get ahead in the count, they'll swing at it because it's got tremendous spin and downward plane on that pitch.
But you got to get to 2 strikes.
There's a good fastball right there. Pretty good pitch, but not called a strike.
Luke Hughes, the hitter. Two and 0.
You know, so many people talk about my curveball. You know, what makes your curveball so good? Simple. It was control of my fastball. You know, I got ahead with my fastball, and then they had to swing at the curveball because I was ahead in the count. So it's confidence you have in a certain pitch, but again, youngsters out there, everything keys off the fastball, control of the fastball to both sides of the plate.
Slow breaking ball hits the corner. 2-2. And Hughes strikes out to end the inning.
Nasty slider.
But the first pitch Zack Greinke threw to Jim Thome got whacked over the fence. It's 1-0. Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. There's some guys climbing rocks in the Barnes Bluff area, the towering rock formation overlooking the city of Red Wing on the Mississippi River. Barnes Bluff, part of an old limestone quarry. A lot of rock climbing routes, a variety of difficulty levels, a lot of them suitable for beginners. Also a walking trail to the top of Barnes Bluff, and Red Wing, of course, home of Red Wing shoes and Red Wing pottery. My favorite pair of boots are an old pair of Red Wing slip-on boots. 1-0 with Nick Blackburn pitching to the Brewers in the third, specifically Mark Kotsay. High drive, right center field. Kadir going back, hoping for a bounce. And Mark Kotsay has just hit his first home run of the year. A solo home run in the third that matches Thomey's leadoff home run in the second.
A high fastball right there from Blackburn, and Kotsay. His first home run of the year is 122nd Major League home run in his first season with the Brewers. Take a look at the pitch. High fastball, good extension. And we're seeing, I think, with the warmer weather, the ball jumping a lot better here at Target Field. The ball on the second deck.
And Kotsay's first home run of the year coming in his 135th at bat. Strike at the knees to Jonathan Lucroy.
That home run by Kotsay off of Blackburn, the 14th home run that Blackburn has allowed, making his 17th start.
That's hit to center. And Revere hustling back, plenty of room, makes the catch on the track. So a couple of line drive outs in the second, and a couple of well-hit balls here early in the third inning.
Yeah, you got to tell yourself out on that mound. Blackburn, a sinker ball pitcher. You got to get that ball down. If you miss down in the strike zone.
And Blackburn had a tough time doing that. His last start was the poor start he had against the Dodgers that ended up in a 15-0 shellacking that the Twins suffered. So he had a tough time getting the ball down in his first start of this homestand. Here's Counsell. Down and away, ball one.
Blackburn always does a good job at getting over that pitching rubber with that balance point. Sometimes if you're a little too quick, as tall as he is, he's got a very short stride. That's a good pitch right there, even though he missed. It's down in the strike zone. Tell yourself to stay back a little bit more, show a little more left pocket. And then there.
2-1.
All little reminders you have to tell yourself out on the mound when you're up in the strike zone. Get to the balance point. And the balance point right there, you can see the knee coming back a little bit. Another good pitch down. These are the adjustments you have to make during the ball game. See the short stride straight over the top. Create that downward plane.
Foul back.
Easier said than done sometimes, you know, as a sinker ball pitcher, because guys like Blackburn, you're pitching every sometimes fifth, sixth day, too many days in between. You don't see that sinker until maybe he wears down a little bit. You know, he almost overthrows the ball, almost too fast at times.
Little pop up, and Nishioka in the outfield grass.
And when I say too fast, I'm talking about velocity. Blackburn to me is better when he's at 88 to 91 rather than sometimes 92, 93, because that ball has a tendency to stay straight rather than sink. He's had only one ground ball out the first time through the lineup. You see the fastball right there, and Counsell just getting underneath it.
Two down. Here's Ricky Weeks, struck out on three pitches.
Two ground ball outs.
You know, you talk about his short stride, and I guess to the other extreme, we saw Tim Lincecum in San Francisco, who has that extended stride, a unnaturally long stride. There's a drive to right center field. Kadir coming in, making the catch to end the inning. We'll talk more about stride length and other pitching matters later on today. A home run for Mark Kotsay ties it in the third.
134th Civil Engineer Squadron from the Twin Cities area. Go Twins!
Hi, Staff Sergeant Tony Hallen from the 133rd Air Wing here at Transit Center Manas. I'm saying hello to my family and friends, and go Twins.
Thank you very much. So many loved ones overseas.
And the loved ones wish they were here, and the ones overseas wish they were here, and that's why this is Armed Forces Appreciation Day here at Target Field. We show our appreciation for all the sacrifice that those families have provided. 1-1 to Tsuyoshi Nishioka. He'll be followed by Ben Revere and Alexi Casilla. Two and one. Greinke giving up a couple of leadoff hits. Revere's single in the first and Thomey's homer in the second. 2-2.
Well, good fastball away right there to even the count.
Fouled away. Now, I don't know any other way to ask this, so I will ask it in an indelicate way, I guess. But were you a grunter? Because I think we can hear Greinke grunt as he pitches. Nolan Ryan exhaled and grunted.
Yeah,
but
no,
did you make any noise at all that you'd like to talk about while you were pitching?
Well, not out of my mouth, no.
2-2. Slap foul. I mean, tennis players do it all the time, you know, and power pitchers, and I guess you'd have to put Greinke in that category. You know, he lets it all out.
Exhale.
Yep. 2-2 to Nishioka. That's push foul. This baseball brought to you on this beautiful Sunday afternoon on Sony High Definition. Another great crowd here enjoying this great summertime holiday at the ballpark. Long battle here between Greinke and Nishioka. Strike three, it's in the dirt. A check swing is called. Nishioka's gone on strike.
That looked like that slider again down and in. Nishioka unable to hold up. So Greinke picks up his third strikeout. A little quick swing, the ball down. Yeah, he went too far.
You can click on the Fan Zone tab on the FoxSportsNorth.com homepage for a chance to win 4 tickets to the Lynx against Connecticut Sunday, July 9th at the Target Center. One winner will receive tickets and the chance to appear in a halftime contest during the game. And if you aren't a member of the Fan Zone, you can join now. It's fast, it's free, and it's all at the Fan Zone tab on FoxSportsNorth.com. And I'll bet you they meet Sunday, July 10th. Revere with a little chip shot to left center field. Niger Morgan makes the catch out number 2.
A good little off-speed pitch right there. Nick Blackburn, Joe Mauer talking between innings.
2 gone. That brings up Alexi Casilla. Casilla went down swinging, swung over the top of that breaking pitch back in the first inning. That's hook. Foul. Oh, what a catch! Great catch, leaning over the wall. And an immediate handoff to a younger fan. That's awesome.
Very nice. That's why you bring your glove to the ballpark. You have seats like that. Future fantasy camper there.
We don't want somebody that good. I got to pitch to those guys. One and one to Casilla. 10 at bats. This is the 11th plate appearance. No one yet has tried to bunt on Greinke. Tap foul. You would think Casilla would be a candidate to do that.
One thing about Jack Greinke, he's a good athlete.
Yeah.
He really jumps off that mound very nicely.
But they do have, the Brewers do, an inexperienced third baseman in Matt Gamble. He hasn't played much third base the last couple of years. So we'll see over the course of the day today whether the Twins try to drop down a bunt in front of him. That's a check swing, and I think he checked. They'll appeal. No swing. And it's 2-2.
He struck out Casilla in his first at bat on that slider down and in. Greinke with 3 strikeouts in the ball game. 41 pitches, 28 strikes.
Just off the plate. 3-2. Bauer on deck.
I know over the years, you know, Zach Greinke hasn't had the best success against the Twins, but one thing we always looked at was the difference in the speed of his pitches. 93, he'll drop it down to sometimes 70, and he gets another strikeout, his 4th.
That time just on the hard fastball. A 3 up, 3 down, third.
Afghanistan. Just want to say hi back home to my friends and family in Minnesota. I want to say go Twins.
Hi, I'm Captain Mike Losey from Cobb Spiker to Crit Iraq. Just want to give a shout out to all my friends and family back in Minnesota, and of course my lovely wife and kids. I love you, miss you guys very much, and go Twins.
I thought I heard the captain say he's from Spicer, Minnesota, a couple hours west of here. Nyjer Morgan leading things off as we head to the top of the 4th inning. And joining us in the booth today, the Adjutant General of Minnesota, Major General Rick Nash, commanding nearly 14,000 soldiers and airmen from Minnesota. Here's Morgan with a ball hit to the left center field gap. Tassone spins and fires, and he does a very nice job holding Morgan to a single. And now the throw goes into the camera well, and Morgan will go all the way to third. So in doing a good job in cutting the ball off and getting it back in quickly, the throw coming all the way through toward Hughes, it skipped off of him and into the photog section, and the 1+1 rule applies, and Morgan's at third base.
Well, another pitch left up. Tassone spinning, making a good solid throw, and then Casilla trying to get Morgan. Short hops Hughes. Now watch Hughes right here. Just jump on top of him. Just tackle him right here. Hit off actually Morgan's back and then went into the camera well. So an error will be charged to Casilla, his 9th of the year.
Corey Hart infield back, nobody out, and Morgan at third, and there's ball 1. Well, this is a Minnesota Twins Armed Forces Appreciation Day, and we're very happy to have General Nash with us. And the Air National Guard, I understand, celebrating its 90th anniversary a couple weeks from now. There's a pop-up, and Casilla backpedaling, calling for it. Morgan at third, and Casilla, Twins fell victim to a couple of really short sacrifice flies this year, and Casilla didn't want that to happen again. But tell us a little bit about the oldest federally recognized Air Guard unit in the country.
That's right, Mr. Bremer. We're going to celebrate the 90th anniversary of the Minnesota Air National Guard. over some festivities on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of this month. And a lot of activities are going to be happening at the 133rd Airlift Wing here in Minneapolis.
We were asked a couple of questions to ask you here, General Nash. Upcoming deployment, about 2,400 members of the Minnesota Army National Guard this summer. How long is a deployment usually?
A deployment for the Army right now is 1 year. The Air National Guard deploys anywhere from 3, 6, or 9 months. Typically they're shorter, but the Army has been deploying for 12 months. Those soldiers that you're referring to are currently training at Fort McCoy, and they'll be deploying to Kuwait later on this month. In fact, the young lady that pinned on the ceremonial Purple Heart on the brother is deploying, and so she was able to pin that Purple Heart that he was awarded in Afghanistan before she deploys to Kuwait.
Now you've got some soldiers of deployment going to Afghanistan to work with the Croatian military. What's that all about? What's the purpose there?
Actually, we do. We have 21 soldiers now that are over in Afghanistan working with our Croatian partners. It's a state partnership program that we've had with Croatia for 15 years, and they're working in the northern part of Afghanistan, working with the Afghan Army in terms of training them and professionalizing both the officer corps and the non-commissioned officer corps.
Matt Gamble, the hitter, Prince Fielder intentionally walked the Twins hope to set up a double play ground ball here.
Well, Blackburn's had 9 double plays turned behind him this year, and he really needs to keep the ball down here, get a ground ball out.
Gamble lined out to third baseman Valencia, his first time up. Down and away. Now there's so many neat little features in the pregame ceremony here. One was kind of a recreation, a reenactment of some Civil War soldiers. What was the significance of that as part of the pregame ceremony here today?
The reenactors who do ceremonies throughout the state of Minnesota represent actually the first Minnesota, that when Governor Ramsey happened to be in Washington, D.C. before the start of the Civil War, he volunteered to President Lincoln 1,000 soldiers for federal service, and so they became the first Minnesota regiment.
Wow.
And they came right here from Minnesota, the southern part of Minnesota.
2-1 to Matt Gamble.
And what time frame were we talking about there?
Drive to left center, and Tassoni has the ball go all the way around him to the gap. 1 run will score. Fielder will be held at third, and Gamble delivers an RBI double. It is 2-1.
That would have been in 1861, and actually Minnesota now is celebrating the 150th anniversary of the beginning of the Civil War, if you could celebrate something like that. But it's really acknowledging the 150 years that since the Civil War time.
You know what was interesting about that, and I when I was in junior high, followed the Civil War a little bit. I mean, Minnesota became a state in 1958, and in less than 3 years, 1858, and in less than 3 years here, they were the first state to volunteer 1,000 men for military service.
Right, and so that's we have our lineage yet still to the 2nd Battalion, 135th Infantry that traces their a lineage back to the 1st Minnesota.
Trip to the mound by Rick Anderson with Nick Blackburn struggling here, second time through the order.
And those soldiers are now deploying to Kuwait that have that lineage back to the 1st Minnesota.
The batter is Unieski Betancourt. The Twins playing the infield back. At the corners back a little bit. Fielder doesn't run well, and he's the runner at third. And over for strike one.
Now, General Nash, I know you've been in command of the Minnesota National Guard for about 8 months. What's some of your observations and challenges?
Well, certainly the deployments are always a challenge, in preparing those soldiers and airmen for the deployments around the world, not only in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Knocked down by Nishioka, but Fielder will score. Another well-hit ball, and Nishioka knocked it down, backhanding the ball, but he wasn't able to control it.
For some reason, it looked like he went to his left, and then by the time the ball was on him, it kind of played hops on him. Watch Nishioka right there. He kind of went up the middle. That ball maybe had some spin on it. And then you watch Nishioka right there, and then tries to backhand it, and it was too late. The ball got behind him.
Third hit of the inning. And the Brewers now lead by 2 runs. Still first and second with only 1 out. And Blackburn's having these ground balls, finding that they're tough to come by here against the Brewers. Outside a ball. Kotsay homered his first time up. The last ground ball out that Blackburn got, and he's only had 2, was Betancourt back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, the one that hit back to him that he got the final out.
1-0 to Kotsay. 2-0. The Brewers taking their first lead of this game. So far, a couple of runs. Dick Bramer, Bert Blyleven joined by Major General Rick Nash. General, where were you at militarily now in Iraq?
I was in Basra, the southern port of Iraq, and we had responsibility there for 16,000 active duty forces when we were there commanding them. And we had the responsibility of the area was about the size of Minnesota geographically, so it was quite large. And in fact, relationships that we built.
This hit deep to right field. Kotsay bangs one off the wall. They're going to weigh 1 run in, and the ball gets away from Kadir, and both will score. Kotsay to third, and he's saved. Betancourt and Gamble were running on each other's heels, or at least Betancourt was on Gamble's heels, and the ball bounced away from Kadir.
Yeah, Kadir tried to barehand that ball rather than use his glove off the ricochet off of that wall. Watch Kadir right here. Tries to barehand it. The ball got by him. And then 2 more runs score. And then this throw, a good strong throw. But Danny Valencia doesn't really apply the tag very sharply. And the runner, Kotsay, slid in on the outfield side safely.
So in the inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, an intentional walk, 1 error, and a couple of other misplays.
Yeah, some bad misplays right there by the Twins. Nishioka, Kadir right there, and then Danny Valencia not applying the tag as sharply as he should have.
Here's Lucroy with a runner at third. And a ball down and away. Blackburn having a very rough outing again here after retiring the first 6 batters.
But you still have to make the plays behind him. Nishioka's got to catch that ball right there. He got turned around. You know, Kadir's got to play that ball off the wall with his glove. And then Valencia's got to make a hard tag on the sliding Kotsay. Those little things add up. You have to stay aggressive.
Bounce to the right side and through. And Kotsay scores. And it's a 5-run inning. And the Brewers have opened up the game here against Blackburn in the 4th.
I just want to tell you something, General Nash. You know, most of the people that come up here as our guests, we have a quick 1, 2, 3 inning.
Boy, I'll tell you, this one is just going on and on with misplays.
Well, Lucroy's gotten some big hits for the Brewers.
And the 5th hit this inning, this one through a drawn-in infield. And Lauer to the mound to buy some time. The Twins trying to warm up Alex Burnett as quickly as they can.
Well, Lucroy picking up his 36th run driven in.
I beg your pardon, it's Anthony Swarzak warming up, not Alex Burnett. So here's Craig Counsell. He popped up to short last inning. And Blackburn throwing over to help Swarzak get loose out there in the bullpen, giving him a couple of extra tosses.
A lot of times that comes from the catcher too, rather than the pitcher. You know, you want to keep attacking the strike zone, but they'll tell him to throw over so Swarzak can get a couple extra throws.
Lifted foul, out of play. And Counsell popped up to Nishioka in short left field his first time up. Well, you don't like giving up 5-run innings, but the Twins kind of felt that the Brewers stole one from them last night after they had a big lead, and so that'll be their focus from this point on. First order of business is getting the Twins off the field here in the top of the 4th.
Well, General Nash, you have to be very proud of what the Minnesota Twins organization means to not only the community, but especially to the armed forces?
I do, Mr. Blylev, and especially FSN and what they've done, and embracing our service members and supporting our First Ladies Joining Forces campaign. I can't say enough about that. And you just all have been great in the support that you provide to our men and women in uniform.
One strike and another throw over. It's the very least we can do. I wanted to ask you, as a member of the military, your thoughts about the Twins, the first team, and I'm sure others will copy it, to have former member of the military raising the flag before every game.
Well, that's so special in terms of you acknowledging those service members, like that Marine today that served at Pearl Harbor and Iwo Jima and Guadalcanal. You know, it's amazing a man of his age and being here today to be recognized for that service. That's truly amazing and truly an American hero out there today. I had the pleasure last year at the opening game. The flag was raised by 3 family members that were their sons were killed when I was under my command in Iraq, and so their family members were the first ones to raise the flag here last year at the opening game, and that meant a lot to them.
Yes. 2 strikes to Craig Counsell. 5 straight Brewer batters have reached, and now Counsell strikes out for out number 2.
Well, baseball is only a game. It's an American game, but what you guys do, I mean, it's not a game.
You're right, but you know, as I served in Bosnia and Iraq, the service members all listen to the Twins game when they can get a chance during this time of year. And it's amazing to reach back and what that brings to them when they're deployed serving our country.
Ricky Weeks will hit next for the Brewers, 9th man to bat this inning. He struck out on 3 pitches in the first, and he hit the ball hard. And Cuddyer made the catch to wrap up the 3rd inning. Before the 5-run 4th here, there were signs that Blackburn wasn't as sharp as he has been most of the year. Some of the outs were hit pretty well, including Weeks' line drive to Cuddyer in the 3rd inning. Over for a strike. Well, regarding the flag raising, Patrick Klinger, the Twins vice president of marketing, has said that it's become such a popular thing that they could book it 5 years out. So many people are so honored to do that, perform that service for their country and for the fans here at Target Field, that it's become a very, very popular way to start the ball games here. Bouncer to the right side, and this miserable top of the 4th inning comes to a close. A 5-run Brewer 4th inning, and our thanks to Major General Rick Nash for stopping by the booth. Let's do it again next year. Let's not skip a year, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, Nash,
thank you. Thanks.
It's an honor.
Appreciate it.
On Fox Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. And by AT&T. Suddenly a 5-run lead for the Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Baseball and the military link in our greatest conflicts. Jackie Robinson served in the Army during World War II. Ernie Banks, Hank Greenberg, Bob Feller most notably, left in the prime of his career and served. George
Ted
Sisson.
Williams.
Ted Williams served both in World War II and in the Korean conflict. There's Jackie Robinson, whose number was retired by Major League Baseball 15 years ago, something like that. Joe Mauer will lead off the 4th. The Twins hoping to peck away here at Zach Greinke. They've had great success against him, but not very often has he thrown pitches with a 5-run lead against the Twins. Mauer takes ball 1. He'll be followed by Michael Cuddyer and Jim Thome. That hits the corner. 1-1.
As a pitcher like Zach Greinke, you get the 5-run lead. Your job right now is to get your troops back on the bench as quick as possible. Greinke has thrown 45 pitches, 30 for strikes.
2-1. Anthony Swarzak continues to warm up for the Twins, suggesting that he'll take the mound in the 5th. And with all the hand-wringing over what happened late in the game last night, perhaps lost by some people, is the fact the Milwaukee bullpen absolutely shut down the Twins after the 4th inning after Narveson had a short start. So that'll be the challenge perhaps for Swarzak and the rest of the Twins relievers, and see if the Twins can climb back and do to the Brewers what the Brewers did to the Twins last night.
I mentioned before Greinke's high and low range. You saw the low of 68, the high of 95, and I always talk about control of your fastball, but it's changing speeds also. And Greinke, we've seen that over the years. Again, even though he's had not some of his best games against the Twins organization, 3-8 in 15 career starts, he has always impressed me by the way he can slow that ball down and then speed it up and still throw as many strikes as he does.
2-2 to Mauer. And another foul. Now your fastball in your prime would have been what,
93, 94.
All right.
It's about like Greinke.
Okay. And your curve at its slowest would have been
probably in the upper 70s. I never threw one as slow as he did. Say to Ben Revere that Revere hit that little pop-up, but I believe that was probably the 68-mile-an-hour pitch.
That slider.
Slider, yeah, strikeout number 5.
Mauer 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Michael Cuddyer.
I bet you if you look at that bat at Mauer, maybe 6 pitches, I bet you there wasn't one sequence of the same pitch, the same speed. Always changing speeds, and that downward slider right there picks up his 5th strikeout.
So 1 gone in the 4th, and here's Cuddyer, who fouled out to Prince Fielder his first time up. Down and away, ball 1.
Well, that's that curveball right there at 68 miles an hour. So you go up there thinking, okay, he can get this fastball at 93, 94, and then he drops a 68-mile-an-hour curveball. But he missed with that one.
Comes back with a fastball at 93, right down the middle of the plate. Fouled away.
I think over the years, as long as Zach Greinke wears a Brewer uniform, he's 7-3 on the year. Yes, the high ERA, but he's going to have games like this. He didn't have too many games like this in Kansas City, where he has a 5-run lead after 4 innings. They did not score him a lot of runs. Even the year he won the Cy Young, he had a 2.16 ERA off the glove of Greinke. And Counsell. It'll be a 1-4-3 put out of Michael Cuddyer. He won, 16 ball games in 33 starts, a 2.16 ERA. With a normal club that would have scored him some runs, that's 22, 23, 24 wins.
But if you think back to that year, he was absolutely dominant in the first half, almost unhittable. And then it's like in the second half of the year, teams had a chance against him. The Twins, in a key game late in 2009, beat him in the second half, and he wasn't as unhittable in the second half as the first.
I think mentally he was probably worn out because every game was 2-1, 3-2. you know, after a while, it's like, okay, give me a game like this once in a while. And the Brewers are going to be able to do that for him, to where Kansas City just was not able to.
And Thome hit a home run on the first pitch he saw, leading off the second inning, and the Twins had a brief 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Jim Thome's 6th home run of the year, but his 59th in interleague play. That's the most of any player in interleague play.
Down low, 2-0.
Remember, Jim Thome in interleague play only gets to play maybe in half of those ball games.
3-0, and Greinke hasn't thrown Thome a strike yet in his second plate appearance.
You know, back in '97 when interleague, it was a '97 interleague play started.
So,
yep. You know, Thome may have played some first base, but now strictly the DH, and you don't use a DH in the National League.
3-1. Greinke delivered a strike, but not where Thome wanted it, so he let it go. Hoping at this point, I suppose, for Greinke to make a mistake. Came inside, and Thome tapped the fastball foul.
Well, jumping on that first pitch, leading off the bottom of the second inning. Jim Thome gave the Twins a 1-0 lead with that home run. His 595th career home run.
3-2 to Thome with 2 gone in the Twins' 4th. And he walked them, and that gets Valencia to the plate. Take a look at the all-time home run leaders, and Thome, we hope sooner rather than later, will get to number 600, and then eventually Sammy Sosa would be next on the list. Rodriguez will keep hitting them.
A lot of home runs by all of those guys.
Key for Jim is going to be to stay healthy. 2 stints on the disabled list in the first half of the year. And in the bigger picture, the Twins' chances of overcoming the poor first half will depend on Thome and the rest of the roster either returning to health or staying healthy. Valencia has been kind of the rock. He's been the one position at third base where Ron Gardenhire has been able to put his name in the lineup every day. That's hit to right center field, and that is down for a hit. Thome gliding around second, on his way to third, and Valencia is aboard with a double. So Valencia continues to have success against Greinke. He's now 4 for 6 against him.
A good piece of hitting and good piece of base running right there. He saw that Morgan was not going to be able to get this ball, but Morgan, a left-handed thrower. Now, you know, he's got to stop and then kind of across his body right here have to make a throw back to the infield. So Thome chugging around. You see that high kick of Jim Thome? Almost like a track star.
Almost.
Manny Valencia with his 15th double, so Twins need a big hit right here with 2 outs.
Tassone at the plate, hit a fly ball to left his first time up. Brewers put together a 5-run top of this inning by stringing a lot of hits together without hitting one out of the ballpark. Tassone swings and misses, 1 strike. Tassone with a big pinch hit double in the last homestand, hooking one down the line. Now tough task here, facing a former Cy Young Award winner with a couple of runners in scoring position. And down and away, 1-1. Four runs batted in for Tassone. Regular left fielder for the Twins, Delmon Young, went on a rehab assignment this morning. That's hit well to right center field. Up, back, and gone. A home run for Rene Tassone. And Tassone comes through big time.
And I was looking for a base hit. Rene Tassone with his 2nd Major League home run. Got a high fastball from Zach Greinke. jumped all over it. So we've seen Blackburn leave some pitches up. Here, Greinke leaves some pitches up. And here Tassone, a big 3-run home run.
We'll give Tassone all the credit, but just think of what's happened with Jim Thome in the lineup and Greinke's apparent reluctance to give him too much to hit. Ended up walking him with 2 outs. Valencia doubles, and then this big 3-run home run.
A good swing right there by Rene Tassone.
And now Luke Hughes takes a ball, 1-1. Two and one. And the Twins jump right back in the game. It's 6-4.
Five pitches this inning for Greinke.
On the right field line, deep toward the corner, chased by Hart. Back into the seats. See, I like that eye black rather than the peel off stuff that you see players, you know, it's got stick them on the back. That looks like it's actually the burnt cork that they used to use.
We could get you some of that. You could do the games up here.
Yeah. Well, not that long ago, there was a manager who wore eye black. I still don't quite understand that. There's a ball dribbled up the line, foul. And what about Luke Hughes? What kind of eye black does he have on? See, he's got the peel off kind of looks like. 3-2 with Nishioka on deck. Greinke struggling here, and the Brewers have handed him a 5-run lead, but the Twins have already gotten 3 of those back. Full count to Luke Hughes. And he struck him out. A 2-out walk, a 2-out double, and a 2-out 3-run home run for Rene Tassone. And it's a 6-4 ball game. Boy, the Twins needed to get a run back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Turns out they got 3 of them. And it's a 6-4 game. We're at Target Field. Gorgeous summer day. Glad you're with us. Robbie and Smikowski, Tim Laudner, Bert Blylev, and Dick Bramer all here for the final game of the interleague part of the schedule.
Rene Tazzoni with a big 3-run home run. Nick Blackburn, 4 innings. That's all they could get out of Blackburn as Anthony Swarzak comes into the ball game. Swarzak making his 9th appearance. You know, we saw Swarzak for a while there. He had not worked in about 2 weeks, and that's a good thing because Swarzak's more the long guy. He's the guy that when, say today, Nick Blackburn goes 4 innings, he hopefully will get the Twins deep into the ball game.
The Brewers got a run in the 3rd, 5 in the 4th, and now Swarzak hoping to put a couple zeros up on the board. First ball hit lazily into right center field, and it is Tazzoni with the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up Corey Hart. Twins fans, you can get involved in our broadcast. Let us know who you think will be the Arby's value player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234. 234. One swing of the bat. And look at that. Tazzoni's got 22% of the vote already.
Good for him.
Here's Corey Hart, 0 for 2. A couple of pop-ups to the right side. One caught by Hughes, the other by Casilla. Ball 1. And again, last night, the Twins won the first half of the baseball game and had a 7-0 lead. But as soon as the Brewers turned the game over to their bullpen and they started putting up those zeros we talked about, the Brewer lineup started pecking away at Carl Pavano and ended up breaking through against Matt Capps to steal one. 2-0 to Hart. And he swings at a pitch, might have been outside, 2-1. Swarzak, a key guy in pitching for the Twins in a spot start. Twins starting rotation's been pretty stable this year. They've stayed pretty healthy. Breaking ball missing, 3-1. No, a check swing and a strike, 2-2. Ball missing. It's a full count.
I talk about Nick Blackburn straight over the top. Swarzak, that same type pitcher. Good hard breaking ball down. Good movement on his fastball. Guy that has to stay back, stay over that pitching rubber, and create that good downward plane toward Joe Mauer's glove.
A liner to left. Tazzoni fields it on a hop. A 1-out single. Today, following the Twins game on Fox Sports North, Tom Brokaw hosting Boys in the Hall. And the subject today, our dear friend Harmon Killebrew, who passed away in May. Boys in the Hall, Sundays presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat. Prince Fielder will hit. Anyway, Swarzak made a start coming out of the bullpen against the Angels in late May. And the Twins the night before had just a heartbreaking loss similar to the one they had last night. Angels came back and beat them 6-5. And although Swarzak wasn't involved in the decision, he almost made baseball history. He took a no-hit bid late into the ball game and gave the Twins a great start, which is exactly what you need when you have a heartbreaking loss the night before.
You know, it's throughout the season you hear guys like Joe Mauer, you hear offensive players on the starter staff, you hear all the 5 starters, you hear the closer, Nathan Perkins, Capps, you know, those guys that close the game. You don't hear a lot about the Swarzaks and the guys that try to get the club late in the ball game. Swarzak, kind of a spot starter. That's kind of what he did last year. A guy that can go deep into the ball game, get 3 or 4 innings, and save some of the arms out in that bullpen when the starter's not able to go at least 5 or 6 innings.
How critical last night was Marco Estrada's relief effort in relief of Narveson, who couldn't get through the 5th inning. Estrada just was outstanding. 2 1/3 innings of hitless relief and gave the lineup a chance to breathe and come back. 1-1 to Prince Fielder. Mentioned before that Michael Cuddyer might be asked by the home run derby captain for the American League, David Ortiz, to participate in the derby. Fielder is the National League captain. And so Fielder will keep asking until he gets 3 National League teammates to participate in the home run derby. 2-1. And now 3-1. Fielder drew an intentional walk, but the Twins' strategy backfired. In the next at bat, Gamble delivered an RBI double. 3 more hits followed.
Boy, out on that mound, and you've got a 3-1 count to a guy that likes a fastball. Always a dangerous pitch right here. See what Swarzak does and throws. Throw to first. Think about it. Fielder, a guy, when he gets his pitch, he almost leaves the earth swinging that bat. A big uppercut swing.
Curve misses. So a single, now a walk, and Gamble will come up.
It's kind of an intentional walk right there, not challenging him right there.
Well, again, it's the first time that they've had captains of the home run derby, and I think the idea is it's a lot tougher for someone to turn down David Ortiz if he calls and asks you to participate than it might be for some anonymous voice from Major League Baseball. If Ortiz wants Michael Cuddyer, well, Michael would do it anyway, but you got a connection there with 2 former teammates. There's a high fly to right field, and Cuddyer has a play on this ball.
Good changeup right there. And Gamble.
And Hart is going to try to advance.
And
the throw coming through, and it's not in time. I was surprised that Hart actually went through it because I thought he might just be forcing a throw, but he kept on going, and Cuddier's throw a little off target.
Good strong throw, and that ball didn't get to Valencia as quick as last inning. Cuddyer wheels and throws. 1 hop on the infield side, and Corey Hart going from second to third.
And now
2 outs.
A very big at bat here, as Greinke didn't want to give any runs back in the bottom of the 4th. Now the Twins are back in the game, and Swarzak does not want Betancourt to drive in a run here with 2 on and 2 out. Betancourt drove in a run with a single. He hit a smash off the glove of Nishioka. High and tight, ball 1. Greinke, who earlier this year won 6 straight games, has benefited from a lot of run support this year. More of the same today. Fastball up 2-0. Swarzak, 15 pitches, just 6 strikes so far.
Well, you're facing a guy right here that doesn't walk much, only 8 walks, 3 intentional in 279 plate appearances.
And Swarzak delivering 3 in a row, very high. Mark Kotsay on deck, and Kotsay already has a home run and a triple. Three and 0. The Brewers shortstop. And he swings away and fouls it back.
Well, they gave him the green light. They knew a fastball was coming. Betancourt, a good fastball hitter, just got underneath it on a high fastball.
Well, I think within that we understand why he's only walked 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
If they gave him the green light or he took it on his own, he's up there to hack. 3-1. And up high again, and that fills the bases. So it's hardly been a smooth inning for Swarzak, yet if he can get Kotsay, he can get out of this mess. You can offer up a question online. carsoup.com/baseball. Jackson White from Minnetonka wondering, Bert, I would like to become a pitcher. What would you suggest I practice the most? Don't tell him.
First of all, how old are they? Are they like, 40 years old and all of a sudden now they want to become a pitcher? But if you're a youngster, find a block wall, put a little strike zone in that block wall and just pepper the ball. That's it. Arm strength, throw as much as you can, as long as you can. I think one reason that pitchers don't go deep into ball games anymore, they don't throw enough in today's game. I know talking to Steve Carlton, guys that pitched a lot of innings, Gaylord Perry, when they were kids, all they did was throw. They threw. And you don't always have to have a friend to play catch with. Find a block wall, let that ball come back to you.
I'm a little hurt that he didn't ask my opinion about what to practice.
What would you do? You pitch.
Backing up third. Throw the pitch and get behind third base to back up the outfielder's throw. It's a very important part of my training regimen. Here's Mark Kotsay. Up and away, ball 1.
And if you're thinking about a breaking ball, I would suggest you wait till you're about 13 or 14 years old to try a slider or a curveball because of your arm muscles, and let them grow and expand. And how they do that is just throwing long toss, playing catch with the fastball. If you need to learn a pitch, learn a changeup. And right now, Swarzak having a tough time with his fastball, getting it down in the strike zone. Well, he's showing some frustration out there too, so make the adjustment. Saw it in his last at bat against Betancourt. You walk around and you show your frustration, but now do something about it. Get the ball down in the zone.
Already been a big day for Kotsay at the plate. Now he's up there with a 2-0 count. Whoa. Might have swung the ball 3.
The ball had a little giddy up on it right there. And Kotsay, he knows he's hit a home run. He knows he's hit a triple. He'd like to knock in some runs. And that fastball right there just above the belt had good velocity on it.
2-1 to Mark Kotsay.
And you would have to guess fastball right here.
Slice foul, 2-2.
Only because he really hasn't shown that he can get anything over than the fastball. Mark Kotsay leading off the 3rd inning. His first home run in a Brewers uniform. That tied the game at 1 apiece, and then a 2-run triple in the 5-run 4th inning.
2-2 to Kotsay. A big threat for the Brewers, and Swarzak, who struggled with his control, can get out of this mess with one good pitch.
You want to make something happen on this pitch.
Flip foul.
Only because you don't have a lot of speed at second base and fielder. You don't want to go 3-2. That's going to get him moving a little bit. You don't want to go 3-2. Corey Hart at third, fielder at second. Betancourt at first.
'24th pitch of the inning for Swarzak. To left field, to the corner, chased by Tassone. A foul ball, and Tassone went into the dive because there's hardly any room down there in that corner in foul territory.
Yeah, the ball just kept slicing away, and Tassone, knowing where he's at, he goes into the slide. You see the chalk that he covered up right there down the left field line.
So another 2-2 pitch with Kotsay missing by a couple of feet. It might have been a bases clearing double. Matre warming up. So the carousel will begin here on a 3-2 pitch with 2 gone. Fly ball, short left field. Pisoni fights the sun and ends the inning, and Swarzak wobbles, but puts up that 0 in the top of the 5th.
Bert, all the way at the highest point here in this ballpark with Mike from Rosemount here. Navy served in the Navy on Armed Forces Appreciation Day. 4th straight year he's made it here, Bert. But look at this, 40-plus years, and his 2 sons have also served in the Navy as well. Bert has circled you, Mike.
Thank you, Bert.
What's this like?
Congratulations, Bert.
Congratulations. What about being circled by Bert?
Thank you, Bert.
You're welcome. And thank you.
Bert says thank you for your service.
You're welcome, Bert.
Okay. There it is, Bert. You made this young man's day.
Tsuyoshi Nishioka leading off the bottom of the 5th. And a strike on the outside corner. Just the 5th inning, but I think a collective sigh of relief that Anthony Swarzak was able to get through the top of the inning without giving any runs back. The Twins, as it is, are down by a pair. And Nishioka, Revere, and Casilla will hit against Greinke. Ground ball to second. Easy play for Counsell. 1 away. 1 gone in the 5th. We've gone from 16 to the final 2 greatest moments in the All-Star game. Go to MLB.com/moments. Vote now for your favorite Midsummer Classic moment and tune in to the 2011 MLB All-Star game Tuesday the 12th at 7 o'clock on Fox, and find out what the most memorable moment in All-Star game history is, or was. Ben Revere will hit. Showing bunt and taking ball 1. Revere with a single his first time up. Fly ball to center his next time up. Chopped to short. Betancourt has a chest high hop, throws, and the ball away from fielder, and Revere will reach. A low throw by Betancourt on the run, and Revere will reach. And there, I'm guessing, will be charged to fielder because I think it hit him in the glove on the fly.
Yeah, you can see the low throw right there. That's a ball that fielder probably should have caught. It should be an error on fielder. Hit the heel of his glove and then deflected away.
So in the 4-run 4th inning for Milwaukee, there was a throwing error that helped open the door, and the Brewers jump through it. We'll see what the Twins can do with this error and the speedy Revere at first.
And the error is charged to Fielder at first, his 7th of the year.
Casilla struck out twice swinging against Greinke. Pulled to Fielder. Out at second. And Casilla beats the relay. Not sure that Greinke ever got his foot on the bag. So a chopper to Fielder, and they get the lead runner at second. 2 down. Casilla at first, Mauer at the plate. Here are the all-star pitchers. Gio Gonzalez has been outstanding for the A's over the last month.
Some great arms right there. C.J. Wilson, Weaver with the Angels, Price. It always comes down to the All-Star game, a lot of low-scoring games, because look at the arms that not only the American League can put out there, but also the National League.
Well, now Mauer and the Twins hope that Mauer can produce a 2-out hit here with Casilla at first. And a breaking ball down and in. More American League pitchers.
Yeah, most of those starters that we showed you. James Shields having a very good year. And then here come the guys out in that bullpen. Chris Perez with Cleveland having a great year. Rivera, how many is that for him? About 30 All-Star games.
Curious pick, Aaron Crow, the lone representative for the Kansas City Royals. Not Billy Butler. Low, 2-0.
Well, he's been a great setup man to Soria.
That's what makes it curious, because more and more we've seen guys who do what Crow has done most of the year, if they've done it well enough, getting some consideration. I think that's a reflection of how those 7th and 8th inning relievers are viewed as being critical now. 2-0 to Mauer. Three 3-0 with Cuddyer on deck.
Well, Greinke with no walks in the ball game so far. Excuse me, 1 walk. That was Tomey. He has 6 strikeouts.
Three 3-0 to Mauer. Cuddyer on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. And Greinke thought he might have hit the corner. So now 2 aboard for Cuddyer. Well, if you believe in karma, then you would believe that at some point Michael Cuddyer is going to have a really big at-bat here today. On the day he was named the lone Twins representative to the All-Star game. So far, Cuddyer's fouled out to first and hit a smash against Greinke that deflected over to Counsell for a ground ball out.
Good time to have that at bat right here.
So Cuddyer with the tying run at first and 2 away. 7 for 32 with a home run in his career against Greinke. Down low, ball 1. Greinke out there because of the error to Prince Fielder. The Twins have registered a pretty high opponent ERA against Greinke. These would be unearned runs if the Twins can score any here in the 5th. See what Cuddyer gets on 2-0. Two and 1, 94-mile-per-hour fastball.
Greinke made 3 starts here at Target Field last year, and he is 0-3 in those 3 starts with an ERA combined at 6. And 16th start against the Twins in the first 15 starts against the Twins. 3-8 with an ERA at almost 5. So not a lot of success against the Twins for Zack Greinke.
3-1. And Thome on deck. Three and one to Michael Cuddyer. Fouled back and got a fastball up and fouled it straight back to the screen.
Greinke reared back and challenged Cuddyer right there. Cuddyer fouled it back.
Time for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch, brought to you by CenturyLink high-speed internet.
Nick Blackburn just couldn't get that sinker down today. Didn't have it. 93 miles an hour. Greinke clocked as high as 95.
So full count, 2 away. The Twins runners will start early here. A long look into Lucroy, and Greinke steps off the rubber and wants another sequence of signs. Full count to Cuddyer. And the inside pickoff move, but nobody there. Checking to see if Casilla was going to leave early. Runners go, and the pitch grounded to left, a base hit. Casilla's going to score, and it's a one-run ball game with Cuddyer coming through in the clutch.
Cuddyer picking up his 33rd RBI. Greinke went with a slider but left it up, and Cuddyer hit it sharply through the infield. Little slider flattened out right there. Casilla taking off on this pitch. He scores the 5th run against Greinke, and the Twins find themselves only down by 1.
And Thome coming to the plate. He teed off on the first pitch he saw from Greinke and hit career home run number 595. And then with 2 out, Greinke didn't pitch very aggressively to him, ended up walking him. And before Greinke could get the 3rd out, the Twins had 3 runs. Strike on the outside corner. Five runs against Greinke so far, the first unearned run. And Thome in position to do more damage here in the 5th inning. 1-1.
Troy Hawkins getting up in the Brewer bullpen. 90 pitches for Greinke in 4 2/3 innings.
Checked his swing. 2-1. Two and one to Jim Thome.
I think everybody in the crowd went, whoa.
You know, we used to get that, didn't we, when Harmon Killebrew played? You'd have a power pitcher and a power hitter at the plate. And with every swing and a miss or foul like that, fan reaction. 2-2 now to Thome.
46 multi-home run games over his career for Jim Thome.
Breaking ball, guys. The Twins get 1, leave 2. It's a 1-run game. 6-5 Milwaukee after 5.
Take on the Rays tomorrow. It's going to be hot and humid, clouds and sunshine. We're going to crank up the heat. Your first pitch temperature at 87 degrees, winds from the south at 8 to 16 miles per hour.
6-5 Milwaukee with the lead in our AT&T trivia question.
We haven't missed one yet.
Who are the 3 Twins to be selected to 10-plus All-Star games? That's a lot of All-Star games.
That's a lot of All-Star games.
I think everyone would guess Rod Carew, and they'd be right.
Mr. Killebrew.
And then they'd be right. The third one, I think, is a little curious. I mean, I don't know whether Kirby would be the guy. I don't think Tony Oliva went that often. Well, that's an interesting.
I bet it was Puck.
Yeah. He was the MVP of the one in Baltimore in '93, I guess, one of his final All-Star games. Here's Jonathan Lucroy to start the 6th, and Anthony Swarzak would like to increase his strike percentage. And there's one right there, 1 strike. Swarzak threw 26 pitches in the scoreless 5th inning, but only a dozen strikes. Lucroy drove in a run, the 6th run for the Brewers, with a single in the 4th. Reds beat the Indians, the first place Indians, 7-5. Two strikes. Indians had to put Fausto Carmona on the disabled list today after he tripped running to first base. And Shin-Soo Choo is going to be lost for a couple of months.
Twins are not the only team
No.
that have had some big injuries.
2 strikes to Lucroy. And there's another fastball high.
Right, just not making the adjustment. A lot of pitches up for Swarzak. Opening up quickly, but that arm just not quick enough to catch up to his body. Need to stay back a little bit more. Try to hit the shin guards of Joe Mauer. Joe's got to give him a low target. Another fastball. Letter high.
Well, where does your stride? We talked earlier about the stride. What role does that play in making adjustments?
Well, the stride is where your comfort zone is, where you can land and then still get over the top of your body, where your upper torso can get over. So everybody's stride is different. Blackburn, a guy that, we talked about the shorter stride. We talked about Lincecum. He's got that long stride, but he's still able to get over that left knee. And, guys try to release the ball differently. Most of the guys are up on top. Some guys throw 3/4. But mainly it's here and what you do to get to that balance point so everything swings together like a pendulum swings. It's that type of rhythm you want, and you want to be able to go create that downward plane. Right. If you can do that, then hopefully, you can get that ball into the catcher's glove without that piece of lumber getting in the way. And there's a good pitch right there.
Not only down, but right on the outside corner.
He stayed back nicely there and allowed his arm to catch up. Watch this right here. A little quicker arm right there. And Mauer framing it.
1 gone. The Twins will be playing baseball tomorrow on the 4th of July, and you can have a hot dog for $1. Maybe 2 hot dogs for $2. When the Twins play the Rays in a 1 o'clock game, it's a Schweigert $1 a dog Monday, and the first 20,000 Schweigert dogs will be sold for $1. Limited tickets available tomorrow, so call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Number 9 hitter Craig Counsell is 0 for 2, and he takes 1-0. And the reason I asked about the stance, here Nick Blackburn's 6'2", something like that, and he's got this short stride. And Tim Lincecum is 5'10", and they say his stride is 120% of his height. He pushes out that far.
Yeah, it's very unusual to see someone like Lincecum. Even Randy Johnson at 6'10", had a short stride because he really got on top of that ball. Now you push out and you can see he lands very nicely. He lands flat-footed, allows his body, upper torso to come over his body.
Nishioka with a nice pickup, and he gets Counsell. It's a good play, Well, one thing Ron Gardenhire has noticed, and I think our viewers at home have noticed too, that Nishioka feeling more comfortable on the infield here at Target Field.
Well, I mentioned in his first inning, Nishioka, you watch him, watch his feet. Look how quick his little feet are right there. I'm not saying little, but how quick he is. He's a quick little infielder. On the run, good throw. I don't know what his size shoes are. Maybe there's, maybe they're 14.
Now,
so
wouldn't
maybe,
that be something if he was wearing a size 14 out there? 2 down. Here's Ricky Weeks. You labeled somebody the other day as having size 16 feet. Somebody who was
pitcher.
it?
Trying to recall who that was.
1-0 to Ricky Weeks.
And I found out he wore 17, so I gave him smaller feet than he should have.
Check swing, an appeal, no swing, 2-0.
I think Pete Ladd with the Brewers, I think, had the biggest feet ever in baseball, like size 19.
Really?
Yeah.
He wasn't that big. He was, 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, it wasn't that big, but he had huge, long feet. He's a clown today, I think, in a circus somewhere.
3-0 with Nyjer Morgan on deck. Turned in his baseball glove for the squirting flower.
I'll go next door and ask between innings Bill Schroeder, because he caught Pete Ladd when Pete Ladd was a pitcher for the Brewers. Yeah, if I remember right, his foot, once he's turned to put his foot on the pitching rubber, you couldn't see it anymore.
He used the entire rubber.
Yes.
3-1 to Ricky Weeks. Hit well to left field, and Weeks has just given the Brewers a 2-run lead. Home run number 15, a line shot into the left field seats.
Yeah, one reason that Weeks is making his first All-Star game is because the numbers he's able to put up in the number 1 spot as a leadoff hitter. 15 home runs, 34 runs driven in, 20 doubles, 2 triples, and hitting right around 280. That fastball, to see Swarzak's reaction, he knew exactly where that ball was going to end up, and that in the seats in left field.
And you could see Mauer's target down and away, and the pitch was down and in, and Weeks was waiting for it.
I've thrown many of those, and you know exactly you're going to get a new ball.
Well, here's Nyjer Morgan. And strike 1. So it's back to a 2-run lead. Still plenty of time, obviously, for the Twins. Swarzak put a 0 up in the 5th, but now the Brewers get one in the 6th. Knocked down by Swarzak, and he's got plenty of time to make the play. A home run for Ricky Weeks, and it's a 7-5 Milwaukee lead. Light 6th inning and our Coors Light freeze can.
Look at those guys. We'll circle all of them as we show them right there. Our military. Armed forces, thank you. God bless you all. How can you say thank you enough for what these men and women do for our country?
The Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze can on Armed Forces Appreciation Day here at the Dome. Well, the Twins will try to do what they can to turn this game around and send our members of the military home who are Twins fans with a happy memory at Target Field. Danny Valencia will lead off the 6th against Zach Greinke. And that breaking ball, and Valencia was thinking fastball, and an ugly looking swing for strike one. Valencia to Sony and Hughes. Valencia got a big double against Greinke with 2 outs in the 4th. It advanced Thome to 3rd, and they all came home on Sony's home run. 0-2.
Well, Greinke really hasn't been his sharpest that we've seen him, but the Twins haven't seen a lot of sharpness out of Greinke. Fastball right there, good pitch. And not a very good at bat right there by Danny Valencia. Greinke picks up his 8th strikeout of the ball game. Well, the slider, but you can see where that ball landed in front of home plate.
And now to Sony, who single-handedly brought the Twins back into the game after they gave up a 5 spot in the top of the 4th. Sony hit a 3-run home run. Strike on the outside corner.
Greinke's always been a strikeout pitcher. That's one thing about this young man right here. Again, 27 years old. Coming into the ball game about almost 1,200 innings pitched at the major league level. He has over 1,000 strikeouts.
He was with the Royals. He left the club for a while, tried to figure out what he wanted to do with his life.
He had that anxiety disorder.
Foul back, 1-2. For a Coors Light cold hard blast, and he provided it.
There, Renee Tassone with the Twins down. Big 3-run home run. That put the Twins back to a 6-4 deficit. Twins have hit 2 home runs. Brewers have hit 2 home runs.
2-2.
Well, the 4th inning where the Twins were able to get the 3-run home run by Tassone. Other than that, a little bit too much in the 5th, but 100 pitches for Zach Greinke. He's a guy that will pitch, he'll let him go 115, 120 pitches. Got a nice delivery.
The Brewers taking their shot at it this year. They gave up a lot of prospects to get Greinke, Sean Markham. Hiring a new manager, Ron Renicky. Up and away, and it's 3-2, and Greinke paws at the dirt. Wondering why Bill Welke didn't call that strike 3.
Yeah, he thought it was a strike right there because he walked toward, almost like walking toward second base. Thought he hit the corner.
Full count to Tassone. Deep to center field. Nigel Morgan going back, and he makes the catch. He's had some adventures going back to that center field wall, including once in Milwaukee when he, against the Twins, he went back to the wall, but the ball wasn't there. 2 down.
Speed helps.
AT&T trivia question, Mr. Carew, Mr. Killebrew, and then we'll go with Mr. Puckett. And it was Kirby who went 10 times.
Oh, we should get a bonus. We got all 3.
A couple of carryovers for any answers we might not get exactly correct.
Or that maybe we didn't get in the past. We got them correct now.
Strike on the outside corner. Remember when Rod Carew's career ended in 1985, his final year with the Angels. He was the all-time vote leader, and he told me a couple of years ago that he held that distinction for a long time. The fan balloting started, I believe, in the early 70s. Does that sound right to you?
I'm not sure.
And Carew had gotten more fan votes than anybody else up until a couple of years ago. Bounced foul, 2 strikes to Luke Hughes.
Well, between innings, I had a chance to talk to Bill Schroeder, Rock, my former catcher with the Angels, about Pete Ladd's feet, and he said size 16. So.
Okay.
Forgot to bring my pad with me. That's what good journalists do.
Right.
Or my tape recorder, like Sid Hartman always had, that I hit a couple times.
1-2 to Hughes. And now 2-2. So by scale, if Pete Ladd had size 16 feet, Randy Johnson would have had size 24 feet.
A lot of runs on the board, not a lot of hits. 12 runs, 13 hits combined between these two teams so far.
And Hughes strikes out for the 3rd time as Greinke has a 1-2-3-6 hit.
He's not going to sleep good tonight. He's going to see nothing but sliders.
Isn't enough to win, and we'll hope that Milwaukee's 7 runs tonight or today aren't enough to win. Here's the all-star reserves. Russell Martin, backup catcher. Michael Kadire named as a manager's pick.
I'm glad Matt Joyce made it. He's having a very good year, getting a chance to play every day for Tampa Bay. We'll see him starting tomorrow night here. Michael Young, that guy can hit no matter where he plays or where they do with him now. Basically a designated hitter, getting to play some infield, second, short, first. I like it too still that every team has to be represented. Even though, say for instance, the Baltimore Orioles or the Houston Astros, Dick, every team's represented. I like that.
Well, I do too. We've talked about this before with now Phil Dumatre in the ball game pitching to Corey Hart.
And there's always going to be guys that are left off because every team is represented.
And you could have a 50-man team, and that would still be the case. There are Dumatre's numbers on the year. Very good opponent batting average. They'll face Hart, Fielder, and Gamble. But, all the lean years that the Twins have had, and they've had periods of lean years where things weren't going good on the field, you still felt like you were represented in a high-profile event. Ron Coomer got to go 1 year as a member of the Twins organization. Brad Radke went, and so on and so forth. And so often in this economic world we live in baseball, there are teams, not necessarily the Twins, who are precluded from seeing their players in October. Well, give them a chance to represent their teams in July.
And what if you come late in a ball game and you're with the Houston Astros? I'm not sure who's representing Houston yet, but if it's an everyday player and he gets a big hit that allows the National League to beat the American League, have home field advantage, pretty cool. Hunter Pence is representing the Houston Astros this year.
See, and I don't, that part of it I'm not a fan of, the home field advantage in the postseason. Hart draws a leadoff walk. There are some candidates final vote, and I don't understand how Paul Konerko couldn't have been named already, but he's on the final vote, and hopefully will get in. It would be a terrible injustice if he doesn't go in.
Well, what about Alex Gordon? He's done a very good job for the Kansas City Royals. So yeah, I believe Konerko's having another almost an MVP type year, but not voted in. Didn't he win that once before? The same 5 votes. He was on that ballot.
Yeah, he might be right.
Yep.
Revere with the catch. Hart, who earlier tagged from second to third on a fly to right. There's a pretty good throw right there by Ben Revere. He had a chance to get set, and he delivered it on the fly to second base.
He's going to have to do that because teams know that, he doesn't have a lot of arm strength, almost like a Matt Lawton type of arm.
And look at that. That's a representative throw from fairly deep left center field.
Even though it's a fly ball out, he got behind the ball and he prepared himself to make a good throw.
And in last night's game, and if not for the poor call at second base by the umpire, he would have gotten an assist on another good throw. Right. Here's a shorter fly ball. And Revere with the catch out number 2.
Yeah, that one you don't have to get behind because of the distance of that fly ball. Hart's not going anywhere.
Well, since I brought it up, let me just in a nutshell try to condense the home field advantage. I think it should go, since we're wrapping up interleague play today, the league that dominates during interleague play. That to me would be a much fairer reason to determine home field advantage in the World Series.
I don't like the imbalanced schedule anyway. I don't like interleague play. I think it served its purpose because of everybody in our division, from Cleveland to Detroit to Chicago to Minnesota to Kansas City, they don't play the same National League teams. It affects the outcome of the race.
And I don't like the fact that players don't wear stirrup socks anymore.
Bring back Calvin Griffith. Got to show the TC.
1-0 to Betancourt. And now 2-0. Dumatre trying to pitch around a leadoff walk here in the 7th. Twins still very much in the game, down a couple of runs. Tigers beat the Giants 6-3. Boy, what a night they had there last night. A rain delay of just under 3 hours. And the Giants won handily, but Barry Zito pitched into and then back out of a rain delay of nearly 3 hours. A fly ball to center.
Unbelievable.
You pay a guy $16 million, you don't expect him to do that.
3 times he should do it. Mandatory.
Time now for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Medica. 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. And by Goldman Sachs. For all the reasons you invest, mutual funds from Goldman Sachs. Beautiful summer day at Target Field. Twins trying to turn this game around on the Brewers as they had it done to them last night. Grand Casino's story of the game.
Well, Twins took an early lead on Jim Thome's first pitch swinging against Zach Greinke. His 6th home run of the year, career number 595 in the 4th inning against Nick Blackburn. Gave up 5 hits, 5 runs. Kotsay with a big triple. Scored a couple runs. And then in the bottom of the inning, Rene Tassoni, a big 3-run home run, his 2nd of the year. Made it a 6-4 ball game. And then Ricky Weeks in the 6th inning. A solo home run, his 15th of the year.
And so now the Brewers turn the game over to their bullpen, left-hander Zach Braddock.
Yeah, Braddock worked here on Friday night, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run, a hit. Struck a couple of guys out on 17 pitches. Braddock just activated off the disabled list. And this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Doesn't sound like the type of thing our Twins viewers would do anyway. If it's not right, they're not going to do it. And the Twins trying to get this game even up. Number 9 hitter Tsuyoshi Nishioka will hit right-handed against Braddock. Nishioka 0 for 2 as a left-handed batter against Greinke.
Yeah, Greinke went 6 innings through 109 pitches. Gave up 5 runs, 4 earned with a couple walks, and 9 strikeouts.
Up and away, ball 1. Nishioka, Revere, Casilla. A lot of speed lined up to face Braddock and the Brewers. Brewers have made some changes. Looks like they've got Craig Counsell over at 3rd base now. Looks like Counsell, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks like Ricky Weeks out of the ball game. No, Weeks was designated hitter. Excuse me.
Wilson is at 3rd. It's not Matt Gamble, I know that.
No, Counsell's still at 2nd.
And Wilson is at 3rd.
Wilson. Josh Wilson.
A move made for defensive purposes. It's 1-2 to Nishioka. Trying to get aboard to start a rally here for the Twins in the 7th. Two and 2.
Well, we saw from Braddock here on Friday night. Good fastball, hard slider. That did pick up a couple strikeouts. Young man, just 23 years old in his 2nd season with the Brewers.
Foul back.
Tough go for Nishioka to find that swing. Average down to 192.
Busted bat and a bouncer to short. Betancourt fires on the run and he gets him by a step, 1 away. 1 gone in the 7th. And Minot, North Dakota is in our hearts and thoughts and prayers. It's part of Twins territory and they need support more than ever right now during this time of flooding. You can help the American Red Cross bring hope to Minot. For information on how you can donate, visit minotredcross.org or our North Supports page at foxsportsnorth.com. 1 away in the 7th. Here's Ben Revere. Revere has reached twice, once on a base hit, once on an error on Prince Fielder. High and tight, ball 1. an important game for the Twins, and then an important series with the Rays here at Target Field. They'll all be important when you've dug the hole that the Twins dug for themselves. But after the Tampa series, a critical series of games, four-game series coming up against everybody else in the division. 1-1. There's a 4-game series in Chicago, and then a 4-game series with the Tigers and Indians and Royals in sequence right after the All-Star break. And the Twins really want to be as healthy as they can be and playing their best baseball during that 16-game stretch. Side again, 2-1.
Trying to go inner half of the plate, just missing inside. Ben Revere jumping out of the way. Cameron Lowe warming up.
Chop foul, 2-2. Most of the damage done by the Twins against Greinke, uncharacteristically, coming on home run balls. And in defeat last night, the Twins hit a couple of homers. Here, Revere simply trying to get on base. Maybe use his legs to score a run. Nearly hit him again. 3-2.
Lexi Casilla on deck.
Fouled back, out of play. Foul by Revere. When we saw the Brewers in Milwaukee, they did not have a left-handed relief pitcher. Now they have Braddock. We've seen a lot of the Brewers in the last 2 weekends, and they look like a team that could very easily win the division and maybe make a run, but you would think that'd be one area as they look to improve before the trading deadline. You can imagine them making a move in that direction. Left-handed relief help. 3-2 to Revere. Just missed, and Revere is aboard with 1 out.
Yeah, good at bat right there by Ben Revere. Fouling off some pitches, making Braddock throw the ball over the plate. And he gets a walk.
And an attendance record here with record-setting crowds all 3 games. The record kept getting pushed up, in part, I think, because of the great summertime weather. 41,195 to pay today.
Yeah, last night 41,378, and then here on Friday 40,812.
Casilla takes a strike. A couple of strikeouts and a bouncer to first. Fielder got a force play at second. Casilla beat the relay and then eventually scored on Kadayer's RBI single. Ooh, that's what's called a strike. Looks like it might have been outside from up here. It's 2 strikes to Casilla.
I've been watching Bill Welke. I think Welke's giving more away than he is in. The ball a little bit outer half of the plate.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier.
Love those umpires.
0-2 to Casilla. That's to center, and Niger Morgan comes in a few steps. That's out number 2. And that'll bring up Joe Mauer.
Mauer faced Braddock here on Friday night. Ended up getting a base hit, the first hitter that Braddock scored or faced. And then later in the inning, Joe Mauer scored. The RBI single by Danny Valencia.
Right down the middle of strike. We're trying to hit a gapper here. Probably be enough to get Revere in to score, you would think. Inside, and it's 1-1.
I think what we've seen, Dick, from Joe Mauer is that the base hits, all his base hits have been the other way. It seems like when he's trying to pull the ball, he'll get on top of that ball and hit that ground ball to first or second. Haven't really seen him drive that ball toward the right field corner yet. Again, you take 2 months off. I know all the rehab. Would have been nice if he had gone to AAA to face some little better pitching, but you know, he was down in Fort Myers facing kids that basically just throw hard and they don't have control of maybe a secondary pitch, be it a breaking ball or a changeup.
Two and one. Mauer. Sliced foul. 2-2. Ron Gardenhire was saying yesterday about Mauer, you're seeing more and more. Let me change it. Fewer and fewer fouls like that down the left field line where it's apparent Mauer's a little bit late with his swing, and they're seeing more and more fouls straight back to the net, and that's one of the signs that you look for a hitter regaining his timing.
Well, I mean, the guy can hit. He can flat out hit. But again, you miss so much time. You come up here and you're facing the best in the world as far as who's on that mound, your opponent. A little different than Fort Myers, Florida.
2-2 to Mauer. And a base hit to left. Revere around second, and he'll hold up there, and they throw behind him. And boy, if the second baseman Counsell had held on to the ball, Revere might have been thrown out by Mark Kotsay.
That was a nice play by Kotsay right there. Ben Revere took a pretty big turn, and he threw behind Ben Revere and almost got him.
Now right-handed hitting Michael Cuddyer will face a different pitcher.
There's Joe right there. I mean, typical Joe Mauer swing, hitting it sharply the other way through the infield. Ben Revere, aggressively, and then got back. And I think he would have gotten back anyway, but I like that by Kotsay out on the left. Stay aggressive.
So first and second, and Michael Cuddyer will come up with the tying run at first and 2 away.
I mean, just everybody, showed their support and congratulations, and they've been doing that for the last couple weeks, and it's makes you feel really good when your teammates are behind you, and and it does come to fruition, and just exciting.
He and his wife Claudia do so much, and I'm so happy for Michael Cuddyer, his wife Claudia, expecting a couple twins. Hopefully in around the end of December, first part of the year. What a great honor for Michael Cuddyer to represent an organization that he represents so well anyway, now at the All-Star game.
Cameron Lowe will come out of the Milwaukee pen with 2 on and 2 out.
Lowe, a sinker slider type pitcher. We saw him a couple times in Milwaukee. Nasty stuff when he keeps the ball down in his second season with the Brewers. Remember when he came up with the Rangers were trying to put him in that starting rotation. It just didn't pan out.
Cuddyer takes Lowe, ball 1. Now, Cuddyer has faced Lowe 10 times. He's drawn 2 walks, gotten a single, and struck out 6 times. So for the Brewers, this is a perfect matchup. Lowe trying to get the final out of the 7th inning.
Lowe, a big guy, 6'7", about 240. Last year, 53 relief appearances for the Brewers, 2.78 earned run average out of their bullpen.
1-0 to Michael Cuddyer. Base hit, left field. Rivera around third, and Cuddyer comes through again. An RBI single with 2 out in the 5th, and another one here in the 7th.
Just patting those all-star numbers, Michael Cuddyer. Keep patting them. 34 RBIs now on the year. Fastball, middle in, and Cuddyer, good solid swing. Almost deja vu of his hit in the 5th inning between third and short. And the Twins are down by 1.
And now Thome will have another chance, as he did in the 5th inning. 1st and 2nd, 2 down. This time facing Lowe rather than Greinke.
Again, only one left-hander in that bullpen. So Ron Roenicke made the move, bringing in Lowe, hoping to get Cuddyer. Now he has to face Jim Thome.
And that's not a good thing if you're Cameron Lowe. Thome is 6 for 8 against Cameron Lowe with 6 straight hits. At the knees, a strike. In the last 6 at-bats Thome's had with Lowe, he's gotten a double, 3 singles, a double, and a home run. Bauer at second represents the tying run. Down and away, 1-1.
That's not bad numbers there. Lowe 2 years ago, released by the Texas Rangers, ended up in Japan, and then signed last year as a free agent by the Brewers.
Missing the inside corner, and that was a big pitch there for Lowe, because now he's fallen behind Thome.
I guarantee you, in those last 6 at-bats against Thome, he fell behind an account. Thome always a good fastball hitter. Lowe relies on a good sinking fastball. And when he gets ahead, he'll throw a split finger, good slider.
Swing and a miss.
That ball had some movement away. Jim Thome maybe looking in, not a power swing by Jim Thome. He realized that ball that sunk very nicely outer half of the plate.
So as you said earlier in the ball game, if you're a pitcher, you want something to happen here because you don't want the runners to get early starts on a 3-2 pitch. 2-2 to Thome. 3-2. Mauer will get an early start from second, and Cuddyer from first.
Well, he went back to the same pitch that Jim Thome swung through, but he missed low.
Three and two to Jim Thome. Ball 4, and they're loaded up for Danny Valencia. So he pitched to him like he had gotten 6 straight hits against him.
He did not want to make a mistake on 3-2. I'll take my chances here against the right-handed hitters.
Window concept, window of opportunity. Remembering that Valencia's yet to play a full year in the big leagues.
Well, last year, very good month of July. Valencia getting called up on June 3rd of last year.
Tying run at third. Twins have a chance to tie it up or take a lead, maybe even a big lead here. It's a 1-run ball game. Breaking ball. Hits the outside corner.
Very good numbers for the youngster with bases loaded.
Base hit. Left field. Mauer scores. Cuddyer coming ball. The ball gets by Kotsay.
Come on,
Thome's going to be waved around. Valencia to third. And the Twins lead by 2.
Danny Valencia comes through again. He hit that ball sharply. Mark Kotsay, that ball hit the heel of his glove and then deflected behind him. Well, Danny Valencia will get an RBI single, and then the 2-base error by will pick up 2 RBIs.
So Cuddyer with a 2-out hit. Valencia with a bigger 2-out hit. And here's Tassone. Swing and a miss. And
well, ball 1, then a fastball right there. And Danny giving it. I mean, he smoked that ball. He came in, and Kotsay let that ball get behind him. And a 3-run scored.
And Tassone tried to drop down a bunt in front of Josh Wilson. And instead, it's 2 strikes. Well, this has been a game where the Twins have gotten some big 2-out hits, and Tassone delivered a big 2-out hit in the 4th. A 3-run homer that got the Twins right back into the game after they gave up a 5 spot in the top of the inning.
It's where the game can take you to a high spot and a low spot. Remember, Kotsay almost threw out Ben Revere. I mean, he was excited out there. I don't think he's excited right now.
Tassone strikes out, the inning ends, but a good inning for the Twins. They claw back and retake the lead against Milwaukee. Valencia with a couple of big hits in our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
A double in the fourth inning. And then a big two-run single we just saw right there. The error by Kotze allowing Valencia to go from first to third. And the Twins put a big 4 spot in the bottom of the 7th inning. Some big numbers on the board. A 1. Oh, now that's not real big, but a 3, 5, and a 4.
And Joe Nathan now coming into the ball game with the Twins up a pair in the 8th.
Hey, Joe Nathan's had 2 very good outings since his return. Last Friday here against the Brewers, he worked a shutout 8th inning in the 6-2 win. 11 pitches, 8 first strikes, 21st appearance overall.
And it's Mark Kotze, who's figured prominently in a lot of these runs scoring here today. A solo home run, a 2-run triple, 2 runs scored, and then a costly error that allowed the Twins to take the lead. Strike 1 from Nathan. Everything seems to be sharper for Joe Nathan since he's come back to the active roster. To left field, hanging in the air to Sony with the catch, 1 away. So 1 gone in the 8th. And now Matthew, excuse me, I knew I was going to do that either last weekend or this weekend. Jonathan Lucroy, not Matthew Lecroy.
Where did we see Matthew Lecroy?
In Baltimore. He's a
yep.
Class A manager for the Nationals farm team.
Yep. Big old smile on his face still. Good guy.
And I'll bet you he was one of the first guys to congratulate Michael Cuddyer today because they're best of friends, minor league teammates. And I'll bet you Matthew was on the phone or texting Michael right away. 1 strike to Lucroy. And a ball, 1-1. Lucroy with an RBI single on all 3 games of this series. Made everybody flinch, including Bill Welke, but he didn't go up with the right arm.
We have seen Bill Welke call that pitch, but not that one.
Two and 1. Ryan Braun not playing. Sore calf. Don't know if he's available to pinch hit in the ball game or not. That caught the corner. 2 and 2.
Same pitch, better result.
Fouled at the plate.
That's a hard slider by Nathan.
Ron Gardenhire, of course, said this morning he would love to give the ball to Matt Capps in the 9th inning for a save situation again. And
well, he wants it too.
Whether that happens or not depends on whether Joe Nathan gets the job done here in the 8th. Two and 2. Check swing. And it's 3 and 2.
You know, I liked that last night. I know with our post-game show, Matt Capps stood up, manned up, and said, "Hey, I just left the ball up." You know, that's the game. I walked out with Matt Capps, and yeah, you're upset that you did not pitch well. And believe me, relievers, they want to get right back out there again, especially closers.
Full count to the number 8 batter. Counsell on deck. And earlier we heard Zach Greinke grunt. We've always been able to hear Joe Nathan grunt as he delivers a pitch. Lucroy got a piece of it to stay alive. Foul back. 10 pitches for Nathan, 7 strikes.
Tell you what, the Brewers, I think, have a keeper in this young man right here. Just 25 years old. Came up a little bit last year. Some good minor league numbers, almost a career 300 minor league hitter. Brewers #3 pick back in 2007. Got some big hits for him in the 6 games these teams have played each other.
Struck him out with a slider.
Right, dropped down a little bit right there, and a nasty, perfect slider. And Lucroy strikes out for the 2nd straight time.
2 down in the 8th, and here is Craig Counsell.
Look at the location right there. Watch this pitch. Wow. Perfect slider.
If Lucroy had reached, perhaps there would have been a pinch hitting appearance by Ryan Braun. Fouled back, 1 away, or 1 strike. Counsell's 0 for 3, hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield. One strike to Counsell. Down and in, 1-1.
I would have to say, Dick, the way that Braun is sitting there, you know, here at Target Field, they have batting cages on both sides. If he were to think about, or Ron Renicky would you know, use him, I'm sure he would be down there somewhere taking some swings. But I think with that calf injury, you let him sit for a day.
1-2 now.
Ron Renicky said before the ball game that he would not use Ryan Braun here today. It's too valuable. You don't want him to go out there and aggravate that calf muscle any more than he did already yesterday.
One and 2 to Counsell. Little roller to first. And another very effective inning for Joe Nathan. He's bridged the game from the 7th to the 9th.
9-7 here at Target Field. And we're going to talk about that and a lot more on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. But we're going to discuss that 7th inning surge. 4 straight hits lead to 4 Twins runs in that bottom half of the 7th to put them ahead. Our instructional today, fielding grounders, Kids Day today. We're going to focus this one on the kids with Bert Blyleven, Tim Laudner, former catcher, plus Guardians postgame press conference. A lot. Military kids going to be part of our instructional, Bert. How cool is that in the postgame? It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Well, Cameron Lowe in the ball game to pitch to the Twins in the 8th. He finished up the 7th. Luke Hughes will lead things off. 1 strike. And Hughes with a single to center. First time he's put the ball in play. 3 swinging strikeouts.
Nobody happier more than Luke Hughes that Zach Greinke's out of the ball game. He said, that's not a slider. There's Joe Mauer and Joe Nathan talking about the 3-up, 3-down inning he had. Rick Anderson listening.
A little bit of a different dynamic there. I mean, how often in the past when Nathan was closing games were they able to talk about it in the dugout afterwards? Maybe in the clubhouse.
Good for Joe Nathan.
Here's Nishioka. See if he's asked to bunt here. We've not seen him bunt much at all, if at all. And he takes outside a ball. Nishioka does not have a sacrifice bunt. We can't recall him trying to bunt for a hit.
Well, Josh Wilson, the third baseman, in on the grass there. He's anticipating maybe a possible bunt.
You know, the quotation marks, the Twins way, been kind of a cliche in baseball, and within that I think everybody thinks, well, a lot of sacrifices, hit and runs and all that. The Twins have seen their opponents drop down 22 sacrifice bunts, yet they've only dropped down 13. So the Twins have not sacrifice bunted much at all this year. So that's, you know, halfway through the season, 81 games and only 13 sacrifice bunts.
Well, a lot of managers don't like to give that out away, especially when you have the lineup that the Twins have been able to put out there. You know, not the best lineup. You're losing a lot of power with the guys on a disabled list. So maybe a little hit and run rather than a little a bunt. But right there he showed bunt, but it wasn't a sacrifice. He was just trying to take it with him.
Jabbed at it, 1-1.
Ron Gardenhire giving signs over to Steve Little. It's one thing in baseball, even though your English is not well or very good for Nishioka, you still read the signs. They're all the same.
Two and one. Trying to add an insurance run. They had a 3-run lead going to the 9th inning last night, and it wasn't enough. Now they've got a 2-run lead. There's a good bunt. Wilson with a throw that sailed into the baseline. Nishioka drops down his first sacrifice bunt.
And a good bunt at that. Squaring around and then pushing that ball toward the third baseman. Wilson comes in, gets the out at first base, and Hughes goes from first to second.
Here's Revere trying to get Hughes in with that insurance run. You look at that 4-run 7th inning, and you think of the hit by Kadire and the hit by Valencia and the error by Kotze. Don't discount Revere's walk and what a battle that was, and how that walk, as much as anything else, set up the inning.
Yep. That against the left-hander Braddock, that I think he probably threw. Braddock probably threw 7-8 pitches in that at bat, and then he ended up walking them.
Tap foul. 1-1. Revere did single to start the ball game, got as far as second base. One and one to the Twin center fielder. 2-1.
One thing we've seen from Ben Revere, pretty good contact. He struck out only 14 times so far in 146 plate appearances. 8 walks. So he usually tries to find a way to put the ball in play.
Breaking ball around the plate, 3-1.
He takes his fastball right back up the middle. Out of second base.
Tapped it to second. Second out of the inning, and Hughes moves to third. Before Casillas at bat, there's no better place to gather your business, church, or family group than Target Field. There are some dates in the final half of the season that might be the perfect fit for your group outing. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com/groups. Check out all the options available to groups 25 or more. And we'll see you here at the ballpark, and we'll hope for weather as glorious as this. Casilla looking for his first hit. Driven to left field. And Kotsay fighting the sun makes the catch to end the inning. Matt Capps is going to come into the ball game to try to get his revenge on the Brewers. Going to the top of the ninth, and their closer in the game, and the results you probably already know.
Well, Matt Capps told me, every pitch he left up. Look at the location of all those pitches. And the biggest hit of that inning right there, the double. And then the base hit by the pinch hitter. So Matt Capps, get a chance to redeem yourself right here. And believe me, he wants to do that.
He'll face Ricky Weeks, whom he retired last night on a fly ball to right. Nyjer Morgan, who delivered the 2-run double that tied the game. And then Corey Hart. And then he preferred if those were the only 3 batters he faced. Capps has been so good, and last night he compared it to the worst night of his professional life. Team trying to get on and stay on a roll, and it's just a deflating night for him and the team last night. And we'll see what happens here this afternoon. Jason Repko has replaced Rene Tassoni in left field. Weeks, Morgan, and Hart. With the Twins up a pair. at the knees, strike one.
This is the most important hitter for Matt Capps right here, the first hitter. So far in this 3-game series, pretty identical out of that bullpen.
It is identical. In Capps' outing last night, Morgan got the double and Kotaras got the game-winning hit, but the inning started with 3 straight singles, and he was behind the 8 ball really before he got going, got his feet on the ground. 1-1 to Weeks. Swing and a miss.
Good hard slider there. In a good location.
One and two to the Brewer leadoff man. That's to short right, and that'll die in front of Cuddyer. As they were playing last night, the Twins outfielders playing deeply, and now Weeks is aboard with a leadoff hit in the ninth.
A high fastball right there, and Weeks just fought it off and hit it in front of Cuddyer. His second hit of the ball game. Let's see where Mauer sits. He wants the ball up, but Weeks gets a base hit.
Now Nyjer Morgan, who tattooed a fastball off the fence in right, just out of Cuddyer's reach for the game-tying double last night.
He jumped on the first pitch. Well, Matt Capps last night, he had that tough outing, but he threw 17 pitches.
Bunted in the air, back to the screen. I was thinking back to Ron Gardenhire's comment after the game. He said you worry about Morgan bunting more than you do him hitting it over your outfielder's head. So what's Morgan do here today? Tries to drop down a bunt.
Oh, remember that ball game in Milwaukee where Fielder got the big game-winning hit? It was Morgan that laid down the perfect bunt to get on, and gave Fielder a chance to win the ball game against the Jose Majaras.
One strike to Nyjer Morgan. 1-1. Capps and Morgan, former teammates with Pittsburgh.
And also the Nationals.
Check this swing, 2-1. Capps said he knew how to get him out. To throw a sinker down and away, and he could get Morgan to get himself out on a ground ball. He just left the pitch up last night. We'll see what he gives Morgan here on 2-1. One. Safe at first. Morgan flying down the line, beat the relay. Nishioka with a throw. Not in time, though, to get Morgan.
Tell you what, nice play up by Alexi Casilla, charging that ball to try to get the speedy Morgan at first. Look how he charged that ball. Got the nasty hop. And Morgan very quick from home to first. He beat it out.
But that was the pitch Capps wanted to throw last night. That sinker down and away. And Morgan did hit the ball on the ground, and he almost hit into a double play. Now here's Corey Hart. Strike one. That's a pitch up and over the inside corner, called a strike.
Yeah, Hart, a tall guy, 6'6", so that strike zone a little bit higher. Glenn Perkins loosening up.
That's close play over there. Morgan just dived back safely. One strike to Corey Hart. One and one. Hart has bounced into 4 double plays this year. One and one. 1 and 2.
Better location there for Matt Capps. Last 2 inner half of the plate. This one came through it better. If he can throw that same nasty slider, maybe get a ground ball. Prince Fielder on deck, so you'd like to get this guy to hit the ball into the ground.
One and 2 to Corey Hart. Just outside, 2 and 2.
Tried to fastball away, just missed.
Two and 2 to Hart. Through the hole to left. First and second, 1 away. Prince Fielder coming up.
All right, threw him the slider, but again, the slider stayed up, allowed Corey Hart with that 6'6" frame to reach out and hit that ball in the gap. Gardenhire.
With Glenn Perkins warmed up. We'll see whether the pitching change has been made yet. I'm not sure that he's motioned yet.
Yes, he has.
He did, okay.
Coming in.
So Matt Capps gives up a couple of base hits. And Glenn Perkins will try to pick up the save with Prince Fielder at the plate. But look about the hits and what types they were. The Ricky Weeks hit was hit right off the end of the bat, a little bucksnort into right field.
Yeah, again, the ball up in the zone, though, Dick, right there. You can see Mauer wanting it down, and then even there's a slider just left up. You get that ball down, maybe it's a ground ball to short rather than allow Smart to turn over on it and hit that ball sharply past the diving Nishioka.
Now, Glenn Perkins has been so good in a setup role. Now will try to get the save himself with Fielder, a dangerous left-handed hitter.
Well, he's never had a major league save, so Glenn Perkins has that opportunity right here.
Brewer fans with the rally caps on that worked last night. And they have set the stage for more heroics here in the ninth. Down the middle is strike. Now, we just talked about last weekend in Milwaukee. It really makes no difference, righty-lefty with Fielder. He hits them both effectively. And has power against left-handers as well. A first pitch fastball called a strike. Now a slider tap foul. And that was the sequence that was so controversial in Milwaukee. They kept, Maharis did, fastball, fastball, fastball. And then he left one over the middle of the plate for the decisive double.
Well, Perkins worked in last night's ball game, ended up striking out Corey Hart in the 8th inning. On a good slider down.
Perkins gets ahead of Fielder quickly, 0-2. Struck him out. 2 away.
That even a bigger slider right there. So a fastball, quick slider, and then a bigger break slider. Fastball. Fielder takes for strike one. Then a hard slider. And watch the difference. The bigger slider. Away. Great location.
Middle infielders come to the mound to talk to Perkins. The pinch hitter is Casey McGee. McGee has been a disappointment all year long offensively. And he comes up in a key spot here. 1 for 2 as a pinch hitter. The hit a home run.
Yeah, the no doubles outfield again by the Twins. Outfielders playing very deep.
Sliced foul, a strike.
Now McGee has a pinch hitter, 1 for 2 with a home run.
So Perkins, 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Alex Burnett warmed up in case the inning goes past this at bat. One strike to McGee. 2 strikes. And Perkins clocked at 96 miles per hour. And we are right where we were last night in the top of the ninth. Twins fans cheering, hoping for the final out. Brewer fans cheering for another clutch hit. Ball drops down and away. 1-2. Very high, 2-2. Perkins has tried a couple of breaking pitches after throwing a 96 mile per hour fastball. Perkins stares down McGee, who backs out of the box.
Perkins knows exactly what he wants to throw right here. Just waiting for Joe Mauer to give him that sign.
2-2 to Casey McGee. Runners go, struck him out. And Perkins gets the save, and the Twins win the series.
And Perkins picking up his first career save, coming in and picking up Matt Capps. And the Twins win 2 of 3.
Perkins got him with a breaking ball down and in. And McGee snaps the bat over his knee in frustration. And an awfully big win for the Twins. They had a 7-run lead last night and lost it. But today, Kevin Gordon, the Brewers had a game they probably should have won. They had a 5-run 4th inning. You're not supposed to lose games like that, but then the Twins ended up coming back and beating them today.
Yeah, the Twins turn the table and win their 5th consecutive series at Target Field. We'll break it down on Twins Live, presented by Century Link. You'll hear from some of the big players. You'll hear from Ron Gardner. We'll talk about the All-Star game and Michael Cuddyer. We'll preview the 4th of July right here at Target Field.